Hi everyone, welcome to the Nelson. It is me, posted by Callum, and I'm joined here by TotallyTettey. If you are new here, please subscribe. I appreciate all your support so far. We are making this a couple of days after something quite extraordinary. Jack, do you want to start us off? What you thought about that game?
There's lots to talk about. I mean, that's unbelievable, and
Yeah,
it's one of those where you go to bed the same night, you wake up and you think it was a dream, but it was reality, and that's honestly it's probably the best I've seen us play like ever in my lifetime. And I was talking to a few people beforehand about the when the game finished, and we were due a massive win, and we finally got it.
I agree, and I think I said that I made a video a couple of days ago. Just a really quick reaction, and I thought possibly in that Forest game that we played early, we scored two early goals in that one, but then
Mm.
Forest just parked the bus basically. And with the way Huddersfield were playing and not really defending, we had that opportunity to really go and thrash a team, and we did it to a massive extent. Which goal was your favourite?
um, they're all good. Obviously Buendia's goal from outside the box was fantastic. Dow's goal, the lovely, nice 1-2 play
Oh,
with him and
look,
Dow and Buendia, and I mean, just for the culture and the memes, Jordan Hugel's goal. Just give me a bit of content to work with for
with
the
that Max Aarons,
yeah,
lovely.
he's finally got an assist.
Crazy. And obviously drinking game rules are in effect, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic assist. And it's crazy that that's his first assist with the number of chances
As
create.
soon as someone said that, I didn't believe them at first, but it's true. And
It just goes to show that as much as like as huge as stats are in the modern game, and you can't take it's not all about stats. I mean, he is
mm,
the perfect modern attacking fullback, Max Aarons, and yeah, and especially at this league, and he's only going to get better. And eventually, will probably, unfortunately, move to another club. But whilst he's at Norwich, all we can do is just enjoy him. And
yeah,
that
exactly.
first assist, and I'm speechless really still about like it's so difficult to analyze such a good performance because you can just sort of say that was so good from us and that was so not so good from Huddersfield. Do you think so we're coming up to the Derby game now against Derby County. Unfortunately, the one earlier in the season was a real sucker punch, wasn't it? We
Mm,
should have really we should have probably won it. We were on top of the game. Obviously, we Pookie slipped and missed a penalty, didn't he?
you did,
And
yeah.
Wayne Rooney scored his final goal as a player, professional football against
Mm.
us. Do you see it going differently in this game?
I don't know. It's just I always like to look back at like our previous history against other teams, and Derby's a club we tend to struggle to beat, and I don't know. I've got this funny feeling about Saturday. I mean, obviously, I'm still confident we'll probably get the win, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Obviously, no, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I couldn't really speak too much about the previous game because I didn't really particularly watch it because I think I was at work. But the
Yeah.
fact that it was a typical classic Norwich, we were having chances, couldn't convert them, and then obviously sucker punch right at the end. Um, I don't know, but I think the fact that we've come off from a massive win, 7-0, it give us a bit more confidence. But obviously, we should not go into the game too carried away, expecting guaranteed win. It's never like that in the championship. It's all fun and games, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting one.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, I agree with what you said, and it's always interesting. Yeah, as you said, coming off the back of these really huge wins and how we act. Like sometimes teams have those off days. I think it's the anniversary today of that 7-1 win against Reading,
It
and it
is,
very
yeah.
much had that feel. And honestly, when I started watching the game against Huddersfield, I could see, quite early on. I thought, and I don't think there's a lot about now. I'm very nervous a lot of time. I noticed like the first 2 minutes, I was like, we're going to win this game.
Mm.
I don't know. It just looked like the back three of Stearman, Keogh, and Sars. Stearman and Keogh lack the pace. They're obviously older players, and Sars defending isn't strongest at Championship level. A very good League One defender.
Mm.
I think he was at Charlton before, wasn't he?
He
But
was, yeah.
it's about I could just kind of see how we were already making them worry. We were attacking, and I could see we're going to win this game. And I think there was some real sort of vengeance almost. The team it was showing no mercy because the Preston game. Jackie, do you still know how we managed to not win that?
Again, there's another game I missed because I was at work, but I mean, I try and keep up. Like the amount of times I'm checking my phone, like 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. And I go and lock the doors when it's shut at 5. Oh, we ended 1-1. That's ridiculous. But obviously, looking at like what people said. I mean, you should never trust the people on Twitter because one side optimistic, the other side are pessimistic. But I mean, obviously, it sounded like Pookie should have scored at least twice, and obviously, I looked back on the highlights, and I do agree with them. It's another game where we're creating lots of chances and we couldn't convert them, and it almost seemed like the start of the season, which that was exactly like us. Even though the majority of games we were able to win, like Birmingham, for example, we only won 1-0, but at the time we had like 20 shots in total in the game. So, but
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
that was a really good. That was almost a frustrating game. I remember that one. That was the home one, wasn't it? Yeah,
It was, yeah, that was the Lucas Rupp's man of the match
masterclass. The
performance.
day I got converted and saw the light of how good of a player he actually
Me
was.
too
Just
as well, yeah.
needed a few championship games to show, but I saw after that game what a player he was. Yeah, I think that was right. That was a frustrating game, that Birmingham one, but we did come out. And I just thinking about that, it makes me think of the difference between how we're winning games in the second part of the season to the winning games in the first half. Because in the first half, we were winning games not always by playing that well, but we had that mentality. We were grinding games out, and now we got ourselves in that position of just we're able to win games. Now let's get more confident. We added Giannoulis at left back. And I think then Giannoulis and Aarons are making the perfect fullback pairing, bombing up and down. Do you see it now that the second half of the season we've been playing better football? Because I think that's definitely what I'm thinking.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a lot better, and obviously not saying the first half of the season was bad. I mean, we were still good, but you just knew that most games we weren't getting out of first gear, which was quite worrying. Obviously being up the top that early, you'd want to hope that we can carry on, and obviously we have done. And it's been good, and but yeah, we definitely have been better second half of the season. Better. Um, I guess what you could say is because obviously at the start of the season we were having injury problems once again, and once we got that past that horrible spell around the time we played Coventry and Luton, and the players were coming back, so like Cantwell's coming back, Hernandez, Dowell, and
mhm.
they're like the ones that on long term injuries. And once that came back and we went into the new year, things were looking a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I'll just ask you is like, do you sort of see this team playing? Is what a lot of the pundits are now starting to talk about. Obviously, they're seeing Norwich at the top. They're saying, "Oh, is it gonna be different next year in the Premier?" And although us Norwich fans, we're just loving it. We're enjoying it. We just love our team. And obviously, at the moment, we've got every reason to. Is it? Can you see us playing like this next season in the Premier League? Because from the Huddersfield game, I said it on my video as well, which is on my channel. We were playing like a Premier League team on form. It wasn't like a struggling Premier League team. It looked like we looked real top of the draw. Do you think we can play this way in the Premier League?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's obviously thinking back to the start of the Premier League last season, we were it's the same football, but except
Yeah,
the players have gotten better. Definitely, you can see that. Like as we've
absolutely.
said before, Max Aarons has been improving every game, every season, and Buendia he can only get better as well. And obviously Cantwell's obviously he's probably one of our better performers in the Premier League, and obviously he's gone sit with us in the Championship, and he's been top class as well. Even though at the start he was quite inconsistent, but no, I could definitely see us playing the same. I mean, I think what we need to make sure, because obviously there's definitely a difference in class between the Championship teams and the Premier League teams. So there'll
Yeah,
be sometimes we might need to like sort of change it up a bit, but I wouldn't say change it too much, but just try and learn to adapt to different teams' play styles. And
yeah.
obviously, they might be able to read us better, but I don't know. I'm sure we'll be all right.
It is, and obviously it's like stating the bleeding obvious here, but every time you go down a league, you sort of see the league go down a bit in like motion. So you watch a Premier League game, you then watch a Championship game, it's like a bit slow motion. You then see a League One game, it's slow motion. So it's about can we bring the pace and intensity and the attacking football to the Premier League, which I think with some clever additions we can do. I mean, Oliver Skip, we're always going to talk about him, and I've loved him this season. I've from the first game against Huddersfield, I could see the protection he was going to offer, and we all love Tettey, especially you, but with his older age and not so much passing ability and not so much speed, someone like Oliver Skip, who's going to be that class Premier League player in the future, and probably could already play Premier League football regularly now, if we're being honest. He was so important to us this season, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely in my top three in player of the seasons contention, and it's I mean it's quite funny because my initial thought when we first signed him on loan back in August was like, another midfielder. It's going to be quite packed in terms, and obviously,
Exactly the same.
But it's obviously worked out favour. He's been fantastic, and he's been one of the many few players that is the number one name on the team sheet every week, and he's never really put a foot wrong, and we're lucky to have him, and obviously, yeah.
I remember that at the beginning when we signed him. I remember seeing it, and people were like, "Another midfielder, another mid." Made us all look like mugs because obviously, McLean and obviously he's just fantastic. McLean and Rupp, McLean obviously starting now. Rupp has been key when called upon this season.
Yeah,
I think anyone can doubt that. And who else has we got? So Tettey also a few appearances here and there, but not many.
Yeah, Vrancic mainly off the bench. And,
Vrancic, and a lot of the time Vrancic is a number 10 rather than a number 8. Whether he suits that better, we don't really know. I kind of like him deeper, but I guess he's done an okay job there this season. And also, Leitner and Tribal. Leitner not even playing at all. We've not seen him once this season, and Tribal out on loan to Blackburn. So Skip really he came in and shown that quality and that importance to maybe add some Premier League quality next season. I mean, I'd love him back on loan next season. I think it would be really beneficial for him. Tottenham might think, oh, he's been really good. We him as a squad player, but I think that experience he'd get every week from playing with us in the Premier League. He knows the club now. He's been here. He knows the players, and he knows a bit about the Premier League. Hasn't played there a lot, and he's clearly got that quality. I mean, I'd be shocked if Norwich weren't already having that conversation with Spurs to bring him back on loan. Whether we'd get it over the line, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I agree there, and it makes sense just for him to have another season because obviously we know he's been fantastic in the Championship, and if Tottenham want to keep him, obviously we'll get him another loan spell, but a loan spell in the Premier League, see what he's about, that'd be a lot beneficial. So then when he can come back into the Tottenham team, start pushing for the first team, he can go straight in. Whereas obviously if they're not going to give us him back to us, then I can't see him going straight in. Obviously, Spurs' midfield has been is decent. Obviously, he can obviously in the next few years he'll be starting ahead of more of the likes of Winks and Højbjerg. But
absolutely, yeah.
I think it's a bit too soon for him. But a full season with a in the starting 11 for us would be beneficial for him. But obviously, going back onto talking about midfielders at the start of the season, obviously. We won't think, nowadays we don't think about him as a midfielder because he's been playing out of position. But we had Jacob Sorensen. We initially signed him as our central defensive midfielder. But obviously,
crazy,
we're all so used to him being a left back now. But obviously,
of course, yeah, absolutely.
He could be key for us next season if we don't get Skip. I'd like to see more of him there. And he had an okay game against Preston from what I heard. And it's just for how good he's been at left back. I'm looking forward to seeing him more as a holding midfielder.
Yeah, I know I really shouldn't be reading into transfer rumours at this part of the season, but you know what I'm like. I saw today suggesting James Garner. He's currently at Forest, isn't he? On loan from Man United. I think that's where he is, and
that's correct. Yeah,
I think I saw a tweet today that said it was confirmed by The Athletic and I think Football Insider, a couple of other sources maybe. That Brighton, Norwich, and Rangers are all interested. I think Brighton were the front runners, and it would be a real shame, because we probably will see some midfielder departures in the summer, including Skip if he's a departure if he doesn't come back on loan. Does that maybe excite you, the fact of bringing in a young, promising player from a club like Man United?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Garner has been decent for Forest since he joined them, and. I was talking to one of my friends who is a Nottingham Forest fan. And, obviously, that's when he told me that we were linked for him, and obviously I didn't know of that at the time, actually, to be honest with you. And but obviously you'd know more about it. But obviously you got to look at it a bit like the Ollie Skip situation, a young English player from a big club, wanting a bit more experience, and I can only say it, being good for us. And obviously I'd like to think we go for him if we don't get Skip, but obviously if the club haven't decided they want to what they're doing, I think they should go for Skip first, and if not, try and see if we can go for Garner. Obviously, as you said, Brighton are looking more likely, but you never know, and it's early days anyways. It's only April.
Actually, nowhere close yet, but I'd be very shocked if the Premier League recruitment hadn't already started out. But we touched on it a bit briefly there, and I probably will do a full video again with maybe you and Rob and James, whoever wants to be involved really with player of the season, really. So you said Skip was your third choice. Give me your third, second, and first choice.
Uh, well, I mean, number one, like, it's got to be Buendia. You know, if he leaves Norwich without winning the Player of the Season trophy, it's gonna be an absolute crime. You know, he's been fantastic for us this season. He's definitely first for me. I probably would say Skip as second, in my opinion. You know, another player's been very consistent, as we've always said constantly. And for third, there's so many options. That's the thing, and
Absolutely.
you know, obviously, you know, it'd be so easy just to stick Pookie up there because obviously he's been top class as he has been once again. But I'm thinking more along the lines of either. No, I'll go for Ben Gibson third. You know, he's come in, and you know we've always had defensive problems. You know, for the past few years and even longer than that. But he's you know he's helped us a lot this season, and
No
obviously
doubt.
we can only go back to obviously the last time we got promoted. Obviously, we were scoring goals with fun, but we were shipping in quite a few. Whereas this season, we're not scoring as much, but we have been a lot better defensively. And obviously, you know, last time out we were playing Zimmerman and Godfrey because obviously Hanley got injured and couldn't get back in the side. Well, obviously Hanley's been fantastic since coming back, you know, playing for us since, and obviously the addition to Ben Gibson has been brilliant, and obviously them two work together very well. So I'd probably put Gibson third for myself.
It's funny, and even back at that time when we had obviously Zimmerman, a very good player, and Godfrey, you know, his surging runs out from the back, fantastic, and he's gonna do fantastic things with Everton and potentially England as well, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
But you know, Hanley is back then. I thought, you know, he's defensively got to be our strongest centre back, and you know, I think it's proving that even though Zimmerman was good and Godfrey was so key to us, they were both key players that worked together. Hanley is that more he's got that. I don't know what it is. He's got that class at like defending. He knows how to win games. He knows how to shit house basically.
No
And
nonsense, yeah.
yeah, and I think that's so key. And Gibson, as you said, has just added to that even more. Arguably even a better player, which is both of them are class championship centre backs.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see both of them. I think my first choice would be Buendia. You
Yeah.
can't really say anyone else. And I think there are three players, you know, that set us apart from being that good championship team to this Premier League side. And I think number one Buendia, number two Gibson, class centre back. I'm shocked we've managed to get him really. And he wasn't playing for Burnley. I guess they just have a lot of competition in those centre back areas.
They do.
And yeah, third Skip. And I say that about bringing us to the next level. That's not even including players like Krul and Pookie. I mean, as you said, there's so many options.
Yeah.
I mean, we are really lucky with this squad that we've got really. I'm wondering, Jack, should we make this a shorter episode today?
I'm happy with that if that's
Yeah,
satisfies you. Yeah,
because we're going to do another video soon with the rest of the boys. But this has been a short little catch up, just me and Jack having a chat about how wonderful it is at the moment, and the fact that on Saturday, if everything goes right, so not might not be, but it could be promotion day. Fingers crossed.
You never know. I mean, you'd like to think so, as because Swansea have lost the last four, and they're playing Millwall away, and obviously Millwall aren't. It's going to be tricky for them because Millwall have won the last three, but it's a lunchtime kickoff, so let's hopefully the boys don't really focus on that and get distracted. But then obviously you've got Brentford, and guess what? Playing Preston. Preston have helped us out the last game. They could help us out again,
helping us out after causing us depression. But yeah, Brentford drew their last four as well, haven't they?
They have, yeah. And Preston look better since obviously they're under the new management at the moment.
Frankie McAvoy impact.
Yeah, exactly. But it wouldn't be an easy game for Brentford. Obviously bit off form, but initially I'm not expecting us to get promoted on Saturday, but it'd be fantastic because I'm pretty certain I heard somewhere that the earliest we've been promoted was 1986. We got, I think it's the 12th of April. So to do it this Saturday would be fantastic, and
that is quite an impressive stat. Yeah, but anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. There's going to be plenty more content coming up. I've been posted by Callum, been with TotallyTettey, and it's been a pleasure. We all appreciate the man behind him at the moment, Mr. Daniel Farker, the Farker Rave. What a man. He's doing, just sign a new contract and never leave. Daniel, thank you, and we will see you next time.